How's it going, guys? TacTixHD here with my 2016 Stanley Cup playoff predictions. Obviously, guys, I'm sure some of you will have differing opinions, but that's what makes it so fun. None of us know what's going to happen, but this is my guess as to what will. So as you guys can see in the first round, I have the Dallas Stars beating the Minnesota Wild in 5 games. I think Dallas has a much better offense. Defense, Minnesota might get the edge simply because of Ryan Suter, and then goaltending I think is pretty fair. Dallas has home ice advantage, though. I think, like I said, their offense is just so much better, and Minnesota I think lost 5 games heading into the playoffs, so they're not doing too good right now. I think Dallas comes away with this one. Next game, guys, we have St. Louis and Chicago. I think Chicago takes that series in 6. They're just the better team. Panarin obviously is added on to last year's team, and for some reason, it doesn't seem like St. Louis can beat Chicago in the playoffs. I think they got knocked out like 2 years in a row now in the first round by Chicago, or maybe that was like, I think last year they lost to a different team, but I know they have had troubles with Chicago, and I think they're going to continue to have troubles, but they do take a couple games in there before Chicago ends up beating them out. Next round, guys, we have Anaheim and Nashville. I think Anaheim takes that in 6 games. Nashville's a very good team, but I think Anaheim's very dominant this year. I think they're the best team record-wise since the start of the new year, so they've just been killing it. The Hagelin trade for Perron, their young defensive core, Getzlaf and Perry are starting to play better, and I think they're just going to take that series. The final series, guys, in the West, we have LA and San Jose. I think it's going to be the best series to watch. You have the 2 California teams, the 2 closer ones at least. And, I mean, LA and San Jose, I think that's going to go to 7 games. It's going to be a crazy good series. And I think LA having home ice advantage, as well as having Jonathan Quick, is going to give them that slight edge. I think offensive-wise, it's pretty fair. Same with defense. And then, of course, goaltending. I think Quick's a bit better than Jones and Reimer. And, of course, they have home ice. So I think it's going to go to Game 7. Quick's going to steal them the game. And they're going to move on to the next round of the playoffs. In the East, guys, first series, I should say, Washington and Philadelphia. I think Washington takes that in 5 games. Just a much better team than Philly. Philly just squeaked in there like Detroit. I think Washington's going to have their way. Next series should be a really good one. We have Pittsburgh and the Rangers. I have Pittsburgh taking that in 6. Similar to Anaheim, Pittsburgh's been very hot since 2016, especially like the last month or 2 here. I think they've been the best team. Finished 2nd in the Metropolitan after, fighting for a wild card spot most of the year. Also, I think McDonough will be injured this entire series, and of course, he's the Rangers' #1 defenseman, which I think is a huge loss for them. Malkin will also be injured for the Penguins for at least some of it. I'm not sure about all of it. And I don't think that's as big a setback, as they seem to be killing it right now without him. So I think Pittsburgh takes that in 6. Next series, guys, we have Florida New York Islanders. I think that'll be a different series, as these are 2 teams that are pretty new to the playoffs. I think the Islanders have made it the last year or 2 in a row, I think just last year, but they both have young teams that don't have a lot of playoff experience. Islanders haven't made it past the first round of the playoffs in 20 plus years or something, and I don't think it happens this year. I think Florida's got the better team. I like Luongo and net much better than whoever Islanders have. I know Halak's injured, so I'm not actually sure who they have starting. But I like Luongo. I think Florida's got better offense. I like Florida's defense better. I think Florida's the better team, and they take that in 6. And then finally, guys, we have Tampa Bay and Detroit, the rematch of last year. And this is going to be a good series, I think, but I think it goes to 7, and Detroit takes it. If Tampa Bay had a healthy Stamkos, then I think I might give the edge to Tampa Bay. But as he's out, that's the #1 center as well. Tyler Johnson, I believe, is injured. I think Tampa Bay is going to have a tough time, even with Detroit, who just squeaked into the playoffs. I think Detroit can pull that out in 7. All right, guys, so in the second round of the Western Conference, you can see I have Chicago matched up with Dallas. I think Chicago will take that one in 6 games. I like their offense. Obviously, I think Dallas has a bit more talented offense, but Chicago's got Taves, who plays unreal in the playoffs. Kane and Panarin are just killing it, and I think defense and goaltending, both edges, go to Chicago, and that's why they'll take that series. The next series, guys, we have Anaheim and LA, another battle of California. I think Anaheim will actually win this one. The Kings, the Kings in Chicago would probably be a crazy Western Conference final, but I think Anaheim can win this one. They've just been so hot lately. I really like their team. They seem to be playing really well, and I think the one big factor here is going to be the Kings and Sharks series is probably going to beat the Kings up, playing that team 7 times. And I think if Anaheim can get by Nashville in 6, I think, they'll be a bit more rested, a bit more healthy, and that might just give them the edge, as well as having that home ice advantage. Just these minor things I think will pull it out for Anaheim, but that'll be a very, very good series. And then in the Western Conference final there, I have Chicago beating the Anaheim Ducks. I think that one will probably go 7 games. Another very good series, and I think the only thing there that's going to matter is basically just Chicago's been there, they've done it. Like I said earlier, Taves and Kane, they just play unreal in the playoffs, and that's basically going to be the deciding factor. In the East, guys, you can see I have Washington and Pittsburgh there in the second round. That should be an awesome series. I could see that one going to 7 games with Washington taking it. Basically, that one's going to come down to defense, I think. Washington Washington and Pittsburgh have similar offenses. I think Fleury doesn't get enough credit. If he can play as he did this regular season in the playoffs, Pittsburgh will be fine, but their defense is lacking, and that's something that Washington actually has a very good top 6, and that might be the edge for them. The next series, guys, we have Florida-Detroit. I think Detroit can play spoiler here and make the upset. Both teams actually have pretty young teams. I know Detroit has Zetterberg, Cronwell, Datsuk, but other than that, Detroit has a very relatively young roster this year. They got Larkin. Obviously, they have AA. They've got a bunch of other kids called up. I think Mantha might play. I'm not sure what they're doing with him. And I think Detroit can play spoiler here and move on to the Eastern Conference Final. And then of course we have Washington versus Detroit there. I think Detroit's unfortunately going to lose that one. Washington's just simply the better team. They've been the better team all year, and they're going to move on to the Stanley Cup Final to face the Chicago Blackhawks. And here, guys, finally, in the Stanley Cup Final, I have Washington beating Chicago. That's going to be a crazy good series. I could see that one going 7 games. I think Washington is going to edge them out, though. I think Holtby's been playing unreal. I think I might give a slight goalie edge there to Holtby over Crawford. Defense, I think they're pretty similar. Offense, I think they're pretty similar. But I think Ovi, being in the Stanley Cup Final for the first time, he's just going to play unreal. Kuznetsov can step up. They got Justin Williams there for that veteran leadership. Oshie's going to be in the Stanley Cup Final for his first time. They got a bunch of young kids. I think Washington's just a sick team. They've showed it all year, and I think they're going to get it done here in the Stanley Cup Final and take home the Stanley Cup. So those are my predictions, guys. Let me know what you think I guessed right, what you think I guessed wrong in the comments section. Also, guys, if you want to participate and be part of my bracket, I guess, be in a league, make your predictions, I have a link for that in the description. I've actually decided to hand out prize to the winner. I'm not exactly sure what the prize is going to be yet. I still haven't decided, but it'll be something cool, possibly hut related, but definitely video game or NHL related, something like that. So you guys can either click the link in the description, or you can go to bracketchallenge.nhl.com and then search TacTixHD under leagues, join the league, and then have a chance at an awesome prize, which, like I said, I'm still not sure exactly what it's going to be. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, leave that thumbs up. Make sure you enter the league in the description. Besides that, guys, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.